Chapter 13. How the Word has been in all men. For I myself, when I discovered wicked disguise which the evil spirits had thrown around the divine doctrines of the Christians, to turn aside others from joining them, laughed both at those who framed these falsehoods, and at the disguise itself, and at popular opinion. And I confess that I both boast with all my that I both boast with all my strength, strive to be found a Christian, not because the teachings of Plato are different from those of Christ, but because they are not in all respects similar, and neither are those of the others, Stoics and poets and historians. For each man spoke well in proportion to the share he had of the spermatic word, seeing what was revealed to it. But they who contradict themselves on the more important points appear not to have possessed the heavenly wisdom and the knowledge which could not be spoken against. Whatever things were rightly said among all men are the property of us Christians. For next to God, we worship and love the Word, who is from the unbegotten and ineffable God, since he also became man for our sakes. Then becoming a partaker of our sufferings, he might also bring us healing. For all the writers were able to see realities darkly through the sowing of the implanted word that was in them. For the seed and imitation impacted accordingly to capacity is one thing, and quite another is the thing itself, of which there is the participation and imitation according to the grace which is from him. Chapter 14. Justin prays that this appeal be published. And we therefore pray you to publish this little book, appending what you think right, that our opinions may he known to others, and that these persons may have a fair chalice of being freed from erroneous notions and ignorance of good, who by their own fault are become subject to punishment, that so these things may be published to men, because it is in the nature of man to know good and evil, and by their condemning us, whom they do not understand, for actions which they say are wicked, and by delighting in the gods who did such things, and even now require similar actions from men, and by inflicting on us death or bonds or some other such punishment, as if we were guilty of these things, they condemn themselves, so that there is no need of other judges. Chapter 15, conclusion. And I despise the wicked and deceitful doctrine of Simon in my own nation. And if you give this book your authority, we will expose him before all, that, if possible, they may be converted. For this end alone did we compose this treatise. And our doctrines are not shameful according to a sober judgment, but are indeed more lofty than all human philosophy. And if not so, they are at least unlike the doctrines of the Statists and Philadelphians and dancers and Epicureans, and such other teachings of the poets, which all are allowed to acquaint themselves with both as acted and as written. And henceforth we shall be silent, having done as much as we could, and having added the prayer that all men everywhere may be counted worthy of the truth, and would that you also, in a manner becoming piety and philosophy, would for your own sakes judge justly.